Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2023 related video here on my channel, and as I'm recording this video you're watching now, it is Wednesday the 10th of May 2023. We are pretty much halfway through the week. And of course we are part way through this year's edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which is taking place in Liverpool in the UK on behalf of current champions Ukraine. Last night saw the first semi-final occur, where 15 acts were whittled down to 10, and those 10 lucky nations, of course, will be appearing again in Saturday's grand final. As always, you're very welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. Today I'm going to be briefly reviewing last night's first semi-final, looking ahead to tomorrow night's second semi-final, and telling you my prediction for those results. So I'm going to get straight into this. Apologies, like I said, if there is any lag. I've had to pull the curtains because the light was just so bright. But I've got the list up in front of me. Last night, 15 acts were involved and 10 went through. France, Germany and Italy voted as well, alongside, for the very first time, the rest of the world. How crucial that vote has been, well, we will find out at the weekend when we get the specific semi-final results. It could have made all the difference, who knows. But anyway, let's go through the songs. Song 1, Norway, Queen of Kings, Alessandra. This was good, vocally pretty strong. Whether it's because it's not a million miles away from what we had at MGP, I don't know, but I was a tad disappointed with this. I think she was very nervous, and I think it showed, but that's understandable, because when you're opening a show of this scale, you would be pretty nervous, I guess. But she did a very good job. I think she recovered well, and it wasn't a disaster by any stretch of the imagination. And I always expected this to go through very comfortably. She was announced last. She looked fabulous. The whistle note was great. I think, if anything, what disappointed me a little bit was the presentation of the song. There were a few wide or wider shots, and I don't recall having those at MGP as much. So I think, if anything, it was that element of the performance. But on the whole, this was really good. Song 2 was Malta, the Busker Dance Our Own Party. This was actually quite underwhelming for me, and again, not because of the artists themselves on stage. It was the sound quality. To me, it sounded too quiet on television. I don't know how anybody else found it, but for me, it didn't sound brilliant on TV last night. So I was left quite underwhelmed with this one. And also I realised again just how repetitive the song is. Really, it's all about the chorus, not a lot else, and the saxophone. It is a good song, it is quite fun, but in the end, I suppose public support, once again, was lacking for Malta, and who knows when it will be high for this country again. As for Serbia, Song 3, Luke Black, Samo Mi se spava, I was actually in a call with my friend when this song was on, so I don't really remember it. I did see a comment on social media though from somebody saying that it wasn't great because he was just whispering his way through it. And it is a very breathy song, if you see what I mean. But from what I remember of seeing it last night whilst in this call with my friend, it wasn't bad. I expected him to go through, and he did. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Song 4, Latvia, Southern Lights with Aya. Again, I saw a comment on social media last night, and it was somebody saying, what does the public have against Latvia? My answer to that question is simple. The public don't have anything against Latvia. It's just that it's been years since this country sent a song that was genuinely quite competitive. This year's entry, Aya, is lovely, and it was staged well, this sort of warm glow, quite engaging, but ultimately, I just sort of forgot about it, even though it's a perfectly fine track. And this is the thing, fine is exactly that, fine. It doesn't always cut it. It doesn't always do the business. And what I'd like to see from Latvia next year is a song where a lot of Eurovision fans are absolutely gassed for what could happen at Eurovision. I know a lot of people loved this song, and still love it, of course, but I never looked at it and thought, this is going to be really competitive, it's going to make the final, and it's going to do really well in the final. I never viewed it as that sort of song. So next year, Something that's going to get a huge amount of Eurovision fans very, very excited. And it means Latvia, of course, miss out on the final yet again. And there was a recurring theme last night. Malta miss out again. Latvia again. Ireland again. Do you see what I mean? Portugal, song 5, Mimicat Ai Coração. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This could have been visually a lot stronger. The sofa from FDC, it would have been good if they had kept that. It is what it is. Vocally strong. Visually not bad. Could have been better. Expected her to go through, and she did. Maybe not comfortably, but the crowd seemed to love it, and it is a very jaunty song. Ireland, song 6, Wild Youth We Are One. This was just so plain, ladies and gentlemen. They did a pretty good job in trying to make this memorable, but on the whole, it did not live long in the memory, and Croatia came up straight afterwards. Vocally, I didn't think it was brilliant, but it wasn't god-awful in my opinion. In terms of the outfits, they were okay. There was a bit of pyro. The crowd seemed to enjoy it, and I saw a few comments again on social media late last night from people saying, "Oh, what a shame Ireland didn't go through. I would have put Ireland through ahead of this country, or this country, whatever." So there was some support for this track, absolutely. But in the end, it was the same deal as with Latvia, not nearly competitive enough. And most Eurovision fans, I think, fully expected this song to miss out, and that's exactly what happened. And there's been a bit of talk already about how poorly RTE, the Irish broadcaster, have approached Eurovision in the past couple of years, so they need to sort themselves out. As for Croatia, song 7, Let 3 Mama Sh, well, this was quite chaotic, very psychedelic, very confusing for the neutral viewer and listener, I'm sure. I expected this to go through. It probably went through very comfortably. In terms of YouTube views, the performance from last night has absolutely smashed it on the Eurovision channel. You know that the Balkan vote will go massively towards this. I've got to say, though, I wasn't massively impressed. Maybe that's because I'm not a huge fan of the song, but it was over very quickly. It really was. Before I knew it, Switzerland were up. And talking of Switzerland, that was song 8, Remo Forra, Water Gun. I thought this was really good. I maybe would have actually held back on the pyros just a touch, but vocally and visually, I thought this was a really nice job. And the fact that this went through with no jury was very impressive. That's a success in itself, and I'm already calling it. This song, Water Gun, is going to do so well in the jury vote on Saturday. However, I've also got a feeling Switzerland could be song 2 at the weekend, so we will see. Israel, song 9, this was just great. This was just great. Noah Curel with Unicorn. Vocally, it was fine. What really impressed me here is that, yes, we have the dance break tacked on to the end for the hell of it, and that was really slick, and that was looking really good. But it wasn't all about the choreography, you know. We had that cube structure at the start. That gave the song a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more memorability as well. And Noah looked fabulous. And really the whole 3 minutes just flowed very nicely. It didn't strike me as a mess when it easily could have been a mess. So I thought it was a job well done. And there's no doubt about it, it was one of the most fluid and engaging performances of the night. And this is going to do well on Saturday. As for Moldova, song 10, Pasha Parfeni Soarele și Luna, not the most memorable. At least to me. Good song, no doubt about it, very catchy stuff. But actually, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure this one really stood out enough. And that might have been because it was between Israel and Sweden. In fact, I'm very tempted to say it was because of the position in the running order. But still, expected to go through. That's what happened. Can't really fault it. Sweden was great. There's been a lot of talk lately about, is she going to win? Why is she the favourite to win? There's more buzz about Finland, etc, etc. Will there be too much smoke? Her vocals aren't good. Well, last night I thought she nailed it. I really did. I thought she nailed it. I thought vocally she was great. Probably the best I've ever heard her sing. And visually it was strong as well. This just looked a cut above most of the other performances we had last night. There was no comparison for me. This just looked so much better than a lot of the other performances. And Sweden will be in the first half on Saturday, and given the staging, this will be around a commercial break. So halfway through the first half, or right at the end of the first half. And knowing the producers, this will be song 13, probably. Yeah, absolutely. You can see why it's a contender to win, and a very comfortable favourite this year. Then we have Azerbaijan, Tural Turan X Tell Me More. Sweet, quite colourful, but on the whole, forgettable. I'm sorry to say it. And this year, it's a rare final in which Azerbaijan won't be involved. I have nothing more to say about it. Czech Republic, Vesna, My Sister's Crown, song 13. This was good, very powerful. I like the hands on the LED screen and then the pink glow at the end. That was really working quite well. Vocally, not too bad. I think it could still be a bit stronger. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite impressive, and I'm glad they're through. The Netherlands, what a shame. Mia and Dion with Burning Daylight. They staged this as well as they could have done. Obviously, they changed the key. It was mostly, if not entirely, in falsetto. I'm not sure that exactly worked, but it's done and dusted now. I think the Netherlands will go back to a national final next year, which has catastrophe written all over it, if you ask me. Yeah, as soon as it was over, I thought that was really nice. I just don't know who on earth is going to vote for this. And that's pretty much what happened. And I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they finished last in that first semi-final. And then we have Finland, Karjo with Cha Cha Cha. This was great. I would have had more pyro. And there was that moment when he couldn't really punch through the wood at the start, but he recovered well. And it was just visually arresting, and the crowd adored it. And obviously, he sailed through. That's it for semi-final 1. We know that Finland and Sweden are in the first half, along with France, Italy, Portugal, Serbia, Spain and Switzerland. Yes, indeed. And in the second half, we have Croatia, Czech Republic, Germany, Israel, Moldova and Norway, along with Ukraine and the UK. So a nice even split so far. If we have Austria in the first half and Slovenia in the first half, oh boy, that's a headache for the producers, because that's a lot of big hitters early on and a very lopsided looking show once again. Anyway, semi-final 2. 16 nations, they'll all vote alongside Spain, Ukraine and the UK, and again the rest of the world. Song 1 is Denmark, Riley Breaking My Heart. This is very cutesy, very twee, maybe a bit too sickly sweet for some tastes. He's a big TikTok star, let's not rule out all of those people going big for him tomorrow. There's this rotating wall on stage, then you've got a sort of green backdrop at one point, a bit similar to the music video. His vocals are still a bit of a concern for me, but they're not terrible. And, you know, he's looking quite comfortable on stage. Opening the show is difficult, but I quite like the song. It's quite catchy, it's fairly memorable, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. Let's move on. Song 2, Armenia, Brunette, Future Lover. She's on this slanted podium. She looks great. She's in this white outfit. This is a slow burner of a song. It starts off very gently and then it builds in power, and then you've got this very emphatic finale. And this is arguably the strongest song Armenia has had at the contest for years. And the general feeling amongst Eurovision fans is that this is sailing through, and I'll be telling you my prediction in just a moment. Song 3, Romania, Teodor Andre with DGT off and on. The broadcaster apparently aren't supporting him, which is a terrible shame, and shame on them. He's only 18, I think. He's doing a fairly good job. He just looks uncomfortable on stage. He was wearing a pink outfit in the second rehearsal, shorts, jacket. His girlfriend, I think, is on the backdrop. There's this lava look as well. Visually, it's all a bit all over the place. I don't really know what they're going for here. And the stage looks really empty. Visually, it's not strong enough. And although he has that rock grit to his voice, the song is a letdown. He deserved a better song. So it's not looking good for Romania this year. Lacking support. Song 4, Estonia, also lacking support. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if this misses out, but I would also be absolutely shocked if Bridges by Alika doesn't make the cut, because it's almost too good not to qualify. It's a really beautiful ballad. You've got the piano that I think plays itself. I think they've kept that from Aisty Lau. You've got this watery blue look on the backdrop. She's in this light blue outfit as well. It's just looking really, really lovely. And it's one of the finest ballads. It's one of the only ballads really this year, so it does stand out in that capacity. But not a lot of people are really getting behind this one, which is a shame. Song 5, Belgium. Now this is a different story because more and more people are enjoying this one. It's Gustav with Because of You, very camp, very 90s dance pop stuff. He's a great singer, been at Eurovision as a backing singer before, wearing the hat and the baggy sort of 3/4 length trousers or whatever it is. He's very comfortable on stage. He's got dancers with him, good backing vocalists as well that are very much a part of the performance. They haven't been brushed to one side. In terms of how it looks, fairly similar to how it was at the national final, which is a shame. Maybe they could have elevated this a little bit more. But now I think a lot of people are on board with this one, and he's looking good to go through. Song 6 is Cyprus. Now, people loved the second rehearsal. I must have missed something. Vocally, Andrew Lambrew is good. There's no doubt about it. He's hitting those big notes. Although maybe he is letting the backing track do quite a bit of work as well. And we've got this sort of elemental theme with rain and then fire. So you've got the best of both worlds in that department. Break a Broken Heart. Obviously, it's a very polished track written by a couple of Scandinavians. I do like it. I just think the stage is maybe a bit bare. And I'm not sure if we're going to get anything else on stage with him tomorrow night, because he looks a bit alone up there. Saying that, it looks like quite a slick performance. So there we go. Moving on, because I'm starting to ramble. Iceland, Song 7. This is Diliau with Power. She's great. One of the best singers this year, no question. She's throwing herself about the stage, moving from side to side. Visually pretty strong. You've got this leaf imagery and flowers, because of course she mentions them in the chorus. I think this is going to stand out. I really do. But again, like Estonia, lacking in support, which is a real shame. I know that this Icelandic track is not doing anything brand new. It's not exactly breaking new ground, but it is a really good song. Quite uplifting, quite powerful, no pun intended, and I really hope this goes through. Song 8 is Greece. This, to me, it is looking dead on arrival. I hate to say it. This is Victor Vernikos, 16 years of age, good voice, what they say. Visually, this is not strong enough. You've got Greek lettering on the backdrop. There's smoke. He's in a fairly bland outfit. Vocally, in that second rehearsal clip, he was quite wobbly. That's maybe because he was moving about quite a bit, jumping up and down. He needs to sort of restrain himself, keep it simple, don't go over the top here. And hopefully, you know, it's going to be a very tight performance tomorrow night. But even though the bookmakers think this is going through, I don't see it. He will get love from a few countries, of course. He's half Danish. Denmark can vote for him. Greece will obviously vote. Cyprus will vote for him, of course. But will it be enough? Will he get enough points from everywhere else? I just don't know. And based on that second rehearsal clip, I'd be gobsmacked if he went through. I really would. Anyway, Poland, Song 9. This is looking good to go through now. Blanka with Solo. The national final performance, we're all familiar with it. It wasn't great. Vocally, she was all over the shop. That's been tightened up for Eurovision, which I sort of expected. She's in this fairly colourful dress. They've gone for a tropical theme on the backdrop. There's pyro. There's a dance break. Not too sure that's going to look brilliant. Sort of like a cheaper version, a much cheaper version of Israel's dance break. But, you know, they're giving it a right good go. And she's in a much healthier position now based on that second rehearsal clip. Because I think a lot of people coming into the rehearsals in Liverpool, they were saying this has no chance. Or she doesn't deserve to go through, Jan was robbed, etc., etc., all of that business. But now, this isn't looking bad and it's not sounding bad. So if it does qualify, I don't think it really bothers me at all. And I'm sure it won't bother many other people. Song 10 is Slovenia. This is Joker out with Carpe Diem. This is looking good. Maybe a bit too dark in terms of the lighting, but they're a great, likeable band, vocally pretty good. And what impressed me about the rehearsal clip is how it looked like a Joker out concert. It didn't really look like a Eurovision performance, which was great. Absolutely. They were owning it, which is lovely to see. And this is Slovenia's most competitive track for a long time. Georgia, Song 11, same deal here. Georgia haven't been in the final since 2016. This year that could change. This is Iru, former junior Eurovision winner, with Echo. I think this is staged really well. It's not one of my favourite songs, and the lyrics are well, I don't know what happened there. But in terms of the staging, this is looking really good. We've got smoke. 2 of the LED screens have come out and sort of box her in a little bit. Some of the camera angles look very good as well. It's a very powerful track, very stirring stuff. And if anything, this is going to grow on me a lot more after tomorrow night. San Marino's Song 12, Peaked Jacks Like an Animal. This is looking good as well. Lights streaking across the arena, lead vocalist sounding pretty damn good. They've really, really ramped this up from the national final performance, which you would expect. And even though this is probably going to look and sound really great tomorrow, I just don't know who's going to vote for this. And I am expecting another NQ for San Marino. But it's nice to have a sort of indie rock song again in the Eurovision semi-final lineup. Then we have Austria, Song 13. Now I think the momentum has changed a little bit here. There was so much buzz about this track. People were saying it could win Eurovision. Some people are still saying that. But after that second rehearsal clip came out, I think a lot of people were actually left a bit disappointed, for whatever reason. This is Taya and Selena with Who the Hell is Edgar. Lyrically, quite good. Visually, not bad. You've got the sort of typewriter script on the backdrop and images of the dancers as well. Lots of red lighting. This could win the semi-final, absolutely. The jury's in the final, because I'm sure this will be in the final. How they'll respond to it, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think this is winning Eurovision whatsoever. But it is a fun... It's a fairly silly song, but it's got a really good message behind it as well. So it's not quite like Croatia, which is so visually arresting, you almost forget about the message of it as soon as you're told it. This feels a lot more fluid and coherent, if you see what I mean. It's really good. Song 14 is Albania and Familia Kelmendi with Duje, so powerful. Fire, red lighting, vocally absolutely splendid. They've given themselves a really good chance of going through. Albania have a habit of sneaking through. Would we really be shocked if it happened again? I certainly wouldn't be. I have nothing else to say about that one. Lithuania, Song 15. This is Monica with Stay. She's been at Eurovision before. She's in this orange dress. Her backing vocalists are near her. We've got the symbols on the backdrop. A bit like Latvia, there's a warm glow to this performance. It's really nice. It's very simply done. It doesn't need to be over the top. I'm still surprised she won the Lithuanian selection, but there we are. What's done is done. Lithuania do have a bit of a diaspora vote, but even if that didn't play a part, this song is still probably good enough to go through quite comfortably. And then we have Australia, Song 16. This is a great way to round things off. This is Voyager with Promise. This is looking really tight. You've got the car on stage, the lead singer's dashing from side to side. There's pyro, flashing lights, everything you would want from a song like this. And it's just looking really, really good. And most people are expecting this to go through. But let's not forget, the public have completely shunned Australia in quite a few contests in recent memory. Surely that won't happen again this year, but you never know. Anyway, that's the lineup for semi-final 2. So my prediction, and I'm going to be quite quick here because I haven't got a whole lot of time. I don't have the specific numbers in front of me. I just have this. So here we go. What I will say is, once again, I ranked the songs out of 100 in various categories, including vocals, staging, betting odds as of yesterday, the attention surrounding a song from the moment it was released, the momentum the song has based on the past week or so since rehearsals began, coming into tomorrow night's show, the momentum a song has, and also me ranking the songs very quickly and working at the average mark. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this prediction will not change. So, the first qualifier, in a random order, ladies and gentlemen, the first qualifier is Lithuania. Absolutely. I just think this will do the business. I think it will get enough love to go through. When I first put the prediction together, this was actually higher out of the 16. It's now a little bit lower. Ireland will vote for this. No, Ireland can't vote for it. Apologies. But the UK will dish out some points. And there will be enough 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, things like that. I am expecting this to go through. It's as simple as that. The next qualifier is Austria, a potential winner of the semi-final. Although maybe this isn't getting quite as much love as it did a few weeks ago, or indeed when the song was released, It's so likely to go through. Austria haven't been in the final since they finished third in 2018. This is on course for a good result on Saturday night. The crowd will be fired up for it. I'll be in the Eurovision village this weekend. I'm sure everybody will be going po, 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 po. Austria going through. And it's a bit of a risky entry, but I think it will pay off. The next qualifier is Cyprus. Yes, I think they'll bounce back after last year's disappointment. He's a good singer. It's not looking too bad. I have nothing else to say about it. The bookmakers certainly think he's going through. He's the second favourite in the odds for semi-final 2, which is quite remarkable. So there we are. He is going through, Andrew Lambrew. The fourth qualifier is Australia. This is just too good to miss out. Visually, vocally, the impact, the power this tune has. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's sailing through without breaking much of a sweat. Qualifier number 5 is Belgium. Yes, at first it seemed as though this was going to be an NQ, but more and more people have warmed to it, and more people have warmed to Gustav, and now it's looking like a pretty safe bet, and neutral viewers and neutral listeners, I think, will really enjoy this. That could be enough to see him go through with a pretty healthy mark. Qualifier number 6 is Georgia. Yes, I think they will make the final for the first time in years. This is looking really polished, so much more serious from Georgia this year. That's very welcome to see and hear. Iru sounds great. Georgia going through. Qualifier number 7 is Estonia. Bit risky, but my thinking here is that it's just too good a ballot to miss out. And if Switzerland can go through last night, surely Estonia can go through tomorrow. It's just so lovely and packs a little bit of a punch, considering it's a ballad. The lyrics are pretty good. I think she's got a really tender, soft voice, but then it does become more powerful in the final third. And I just hope people get behind her enough, because you know that if this makes the final, the juries will be on board with it. So this won't be disgraced on Saturday if she gets through. Qualifying number 8 is Armenia, another potential winner of this semi-final. So many people love it. Visually, it certainly could go down as one of the strongest this year, and I have nothing else to say about it. Really lovely, again, quite a tender vocal we're getting here from Brunette, and they've made it quite memorable considering she's on second, because of that slanted platform and the visuals all around her. The 9th qualifier is going to be Slovenia, of course. Yes, Slovenia will be bouncing back after a few years of disappointment. This is sounding really good. It's looking very polished. Going to be a very tight performance. And Joker out, you know, I think they're going to get many more fans after Eurovision. Absolutely. So that leaves one more country, one more slot up for grabs. Missing out, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be brief here. Denmark. An NQ. I know. I'm really not sure about this prediction, I'll tell you that. Denmark missing out for me. If anything, it could be because he's on first. Denmark haven't made the final for a few years now. This could be a third NQ in a row, which would be a real shame. I don't know how to feel about this one, but when I put the prediction together, look, it just came up. Denmark NQ. So I'm like, right, well, that's it. I'm not changing it. It's as simple as that. Also missing out San Marino. Simply put, not going to get enough love, no matter how good the performance is, I'm afraid. Greece are missing out. Yeah, I would be really surprised if this goes through. I don't think it's a very strong performance. It's not looking good enough. I'm sorry to say it. It is not looking remotely good enough. It's almost as if they just did not know how to stage this. Also missing out, Poland. I know. Shocking prediction, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know if enough people will be on board with Blanka. Then again, she could sail through because she's been doing really well on TikTok and her rehearsal clips have been getting lots of views. Whether that plays a part or not, I don't know, but I've put Poland down to not qualify, and also missing out Romania, purely because, again, like Greece, not looking strong enough, not quite sounding strong enough, and the staging, well, it's just looking really quite poor. So, yes, There's 2 countries left, and if you've been paying attention, you'll know which countries they are: Albania and Iceland. The 10th and final qualifier, ladies and gentlemen, is Iceland. Yes, fingers crossed. Now, I haven't just put Iceland through because it's one of my favourites this year. Not at all. It is a very close run thing. I just think the Icelandic track will live a bit longer in the memory. That's all I can really say. It's a really good tune. If Iceland go through and get drawn in the first half, Diljá could open the final. I could absolutely see that happening. Yeah, a really close run thing. I just think more people might gravitate towards Iceland than Albania. I mean, Estonia might give a few points to Iceland. There's no Norway, there's no Sweden, there's no Finland, but there is Denmark. And yes, that's only, 2 countries maybe giving Diljá some points. But there'll be a few points from elsewhere. I think Australia might give her, 6 or 7. Yeah. Maybe Lithuania will dish out a point or 2. We can't speculate. I just think Iceland might just have the edge. But who knows? I'm not feeling confident about that prediction. So to wrap up, because I'm really running out of time now, bottom to top, with a score of 62, Romania, 62.5, Greece, 63, San Marino, 68.8, Poland, 69.8, Denmark, 71.5, Albania, and then the qualifiers, 73.8, Iceland, 74.7, Estonia, 76.2, Lithuania, 78.3, Cyprus, 6th, 78.5, Belgium, 83.2, Georgia, 83.8, Slovenia, 84.2 Australia, 87 Austria, and the winner of the semi-final, 87.8 Armenia, performing second as well. Well. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. A big ramble from me. Hopefully the quality wasn't too bad. Let me know your thoughts on that prediction. Please be respectful as always. And I'll be back tomorrow night, all being well, reacting to those results as they come through on my television. Until then, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And let me know your thoughts on semi-final 2 in Liverpool. Bye for now.